Every fall, trends come and go, but some styles never lose their charm. From the poetic layers of dark academia to the polished grace of French chic, from the cozy chaos of the frazzled English woman to the effortless allure of quiet luxury, and of course, the free-spirited soul of boho chic. These are the 5 aesthetics that always work when the leaves start to turn: timeless, wearable, and endlessly inspiring. Let's dive in. Boho chic, short for bohemian chic, is all about embracing creativity, freedom, and a carefree attitude. It originally drew inspiration from the 1960s and 70s bohemian lifestyle, blending influences from various cultures, especially hippie, gypsy, and folk aesthetics. Today, boho chic is a popular style that combines earthy tones, intricate patterns, and natural materials with a touch of elegance. After its heyday in the 70s, boho chic made a comeback in the early 2000s. Icons like Sienna Miller and Kate Moss redefined the style, mixing boho with vintage pieces and high fashion. Their looks included fringed bags, cowboy boots, crochet, and embroidered vests, creating a blend of laid-back luxury and effortless cool. This 2000s boho chic was all about eclectic styling, where high-end met earthy. Today, boho chic is making a stylish return. However, the modern version is less about heavy layering and more about a streamlined approach. Runways have led the revival, bringing updated boho styles that mix classic bohemian flair with modern sophistication. Think flowing maxi dresses, refined tailoring, and earthy color palettes with splashes of bold accents. Sustainability and craftsmanship are central to the look, making quality, handmade pieces like embroidered blouses and artisanal accessories staples of modern boho chic. Let's start by breaking down the main elements that make up a boho chic outfit. Earthy and muted colors. Boho chic fashion leans toward a natural color palette. Think warm tones like browns, tans, ivory, olive green, and soft pinks. Flowy and layered pieces. Maxi dresses, loose-fitting blouses, and oversized cardigans are key to capturing that laid-back feel. Layers give your outfit depth and texture while keeping it comfortable. Patterns and prints. Boho is all about vibrant prints like paisleys, florals, and ethnic patterns. Mixing prints can create a visually exciting look, so don't be afraid to get creative. Natural fabrics. Cotton, linen, and suede are perfect for boho chic, as they feel relaxed and fit the earthy vibe. These materials also work well in a variety of climates, making boho chic versatile year-round. Fringe, tassels, and crochet. Adding fringe on bags, shoes, or jackets adds that vintage touch, while crochet tops or details give a handmade look that is central to boho style. Accessories are key to any boho chic look. Here are some essentials to keep in mind. Statement jewelry. Think chunky rings, layered necklaces, and stacked bracelets in silver or gold with natural stones like turquoise or amber. These bring a sense of wanderlust to your outfit. Hats and headwear. Floppy hats, headscarves, or bandanas instantly bring a relaxed bohemian vibe. Not only do they look great, but they're also practical for sunny days. Bags with personality. Look for bags with fringe, embroidery, or even woven details. Crossbody bags or mini backpacks in leather or suede are perfect for keeping it casual and free-spirited. When it comes to footwear, boho chic is all about comfort and a natural feel. Ankle boots. These are versatile. Go with almost anything. and add a touch of ruggedness to your look. Sandals. Perfect for warmer days. Look for sandals with unique designs, beads, or wraparound details. Clogs and platforms. These can add a retro feel to your look and are great for pairing with maxi dresses or wide-leg pants. Now, let's talk about how to modernize boho chic. Today's boho is a bit sleeker and more polished than in the 70s, so here are a few ways to keep it current. Pair with denim. A denim jacket or high-waisted jeans add a structured, contemporary element to balance the flowy fabrics and give your outfit an edge. Minimalist touches. You can go subtle with your patterns or accessories, combining just one or two statement boho pieces with neutral basics to tone down the look. Monochromatic look. Try going for a single color palette, like an all-white or all-beige outfit, to achieve a clean and sophisticated boho vibe. When we talk about boho chic, Vanessa Hudgens is always the first name that comes to mind. She captures that carefree, sun-kissed California spirit, festival-ready but still refined, with a love for flowy layers and statement jewelry that feels deeply personal. Then there's Sienna Miller, the woman who practically defined bohemian fashion in the early 2000s. Her style has this lived-in charm, earthy tones, vintage boots, and that natural, undone beauty that makes everything look effortless. Florence Welch brings a dreamier, more ethereal take on the aesthetic. She's all about romantic silhouettes, flowing fabrics, and a sense of old soul glamour that feels almost like poetry in motion. Mary-Kate Olsen adds depth and mystery. Her version of boho is moody, layered, and a little undone in the best way possible. It's the city girl's approach to bohemian dressing, full of texture and intention. And of course, Kate Moss gives the look its edge. She blends boho with rock and roll, mixing suede and silk, fringe and leather, with that nonchalant attitude that only she can pull off. Together, they show that boho chic is a lifestyle, a freedom that keeps reinventing itself every fall. Think of pieces that tell a story. Woven fabrics that feel handmade, layers that shift and move as you walk, subtle details that make an outfit feel lived in. There's a warmth to it all. Earthy shades, soft browns, faded creams, touches of gold and deep rust that mirror the changing leaves. Textures play a big role. Cottons, linens, knits, and suede coming together in ways that feel both natural and expressive. Accessories feel collected, not styled, like something you picked up on a road trip or found in a vintage shop by the coast. It's about dressing with intuition rather than rules, allowing colors, textures, and moods to blend freely. Boho chic is about ease and emotion. It's soft, a little wild, and deeply personal. It's fashion that feels like freedom. So, what really is French chic? It's not just berets, stripes, or red lipstick. At its core, it's a balance of ease and refinement. Outfits look like they were chosen in 5 minutes, but somehow everything works together. You'll often see very simple clothes, but they're chosen with intention. A shirt that drapes just right, jeans that actually fit, a coat that looks lived in yet sharp. The magic is in that contrast. Casual next to dressy, softness next to structure. A silk blouse under a rugged wool coat, sneakers with tailored trousers, a vintage scarf tied casually around the neck. Nothing looks forced, and that's what gives it charm. When fall arrives, the focus shifts to outerwear and texture. The coat becomes the centerpiece. It could be a classic trench, a long wool coat, or even a leather jacket. Underneath, you'll often find knitwear, maybe a fine turtleneck or a chunky cardigan. Shoes change too. Ballet flats don't disappear, but boots start to take over. Ankle boots, block heel boots, sleek loafers. Sneakers are still there, but usually minimal, almost understated. And then there are the accessories. A wool scarf casually wrapped, a structured leather bag, small gold hoops, or a delicate chain. Sometimes even a beret, but it's always more subtle than costume. One of the things that makes fall French style so recognizable is the palette. Neutrals still form the base: camel, cream, navy, black, olive, gray, but they're not the whole story. Red, in particular, shows up a lot. Sometimes it's a red knit, sometimes a bag, and of course, a red lip. It's a color that adds energy to an otherwise understated look, and it's used with confidence. Patterns also play a bigger role than people might think. Stripes, checks, and florals are part of the everyday mix. They're not overwhelming, but they're not rare either. They weave in often enough to keep outfits lively. A striped sweater under a coat, a checked blazer, a floral dress layered with boots. These small touches add variety without disturbing the overall balance. Textures keep everything seasonal. Wool coats, cashmere knits, leather boots, suede bags, all those tactile fabrics that make fall outfits feel rich. Lighter silks or satins still sneak in, often in the form of a scarf or blouse to contrast the heavier layers. What really stands out in French fall style is the way outfits are shaped. The silhouettes aren't extreme, nothing skin-tight head to toe, and nothing swallowed up in fabric either. Instead, it's about balance. If the coat is oversized, the trousers underneath are slimmer. If the skirt is flowing, the sweater on top is more fitted. That contrast is what makes the look feel intentional but not forced. You'll often see mid-length skirts or dresses, straight-leg trousers, and coats that skim rather than cling. Knits tend to have a bit of looseness, but they're styled so the body still has shape. A tuck at the waist, a belt around a coat, or simply the way sleeves are pushed up. The result is movement without messiness. Outfits look comfortable to walk in, to sit in at a cafe, to live in. And that ease is what makes the proportions so timeless. French chic isn't stuck in the past. It evolves with each new generation. Today, you'll see the same classic pieces: blazers, trenches, straight jeans, but styled with a fresher, sometimes bolder energy. Younger women often bring in sneakers where older icons might have chosen flats. Or they'll wear chunkier boots with something delicate like a slip dress. Vintage is a big part of the mix now too. Secondhand coats, old leather bags, scarves that feel like they've been passed down. That touch of imperfection makes the look feel lived in and personal. There's also more freedom with layering. A graphic tee under a blazer, knitwear draped over the shoulders, silk dresses worn in daylight with boots. The overall effect is still unmistakably French chic, but with little twists that keep it modern, a style that nods to tradition while feeling current. If you want to channel this look for fall, here are the essentials that really carry it. A classic trench coat. A long wool coat in black, gray, or camel. Turtlenecks. Cream, charcoal, maybe burgundy. A couple of good knits, one chunky, one fine. Straight-leg jeans, ideally dark wash. Tailored trousers for dressier days. A silk blouse in white or ivory. A midi dress you can layer with coats and boots. Shoes, loafers, ankle boots, clean sneakers. Accessories, a scarf, a belt, minimal jewelry, and a structured handbag. And then the extras. A leather moto jacket, patterned tights, maybe a slip dress, maybe a beret if it feels natural to you. Before we get into the women shaping French chic today, I think it's important to look back at where it all started. The roots of this style come from a handful of icons whose looks defined an era and still influence the way we dress every fall. Jane Birkin's style was all about simplicity with personality. A basket bag slung over the arm, perfectly worn jeans, a t-shirt or a blouse that looked like it had been lived in. She captured ease like no one else, and that's why she still inspires so many people today. Françoise Hardy brought a sharper edge. She leaned into tailored coats, structured silhouettes, and pieces that looked a little more modern and streamlined. Her style was cool, understated, and quietly powerful. Brigitte Bardot gave French style a playful edge. She mixed stripes, short skirts, and ballet flats with animal print coats and leather pieces that felt bold for the time. Those combinations turned her everyday looks into lasting icons. Of course, French chic didn't stop with the past. The spirit of those icons lives on, but today it's being reinterpreted by a new generation of women who bring their own personality and perspective to it. Jeanne Damas is almost the modern face of Parisian style. Her look is vintage-tinged, with lots of relaxed denim, blouses, and red lips, but she never looks like she's playing dress-up. It feels authentic, as if she just pulled pieces from her closet that she's worn for years. Even though she's British, Alexa Chung has long embodied that Parisian sensibility. She mixes playful details, like minis or quirky patterns, with timeless staples such as blazers and loafers. Her style proves that French chic doesn't have to be French by passport. It's more about the mood. Melody Banfield brings softness to the aesthetic. Her outfits often feel dreamy, leaning into floaty dresses, delicate knits, and tones that carry a hint of nostalgia. It's French chic through a very romantic lens. Elodie Romy captures the everyday ease of French chic. Her looks are wearable and grounded, jeans, coats, knits, with subtle styling choices that make them memorable. She makes casual look refined without losing that lived-in feel. Marielle Heon shows the minimalist side of French chic: clean cuts, quiet colors, unfussy shapes. Her outfits remind us that less really is more, and that the absence of extra details can be just as powerful as adding them. Camille Yolaine brings in a sense of whimsy. Think romantic blouses, little vintage touches, colors that feel painterly. She proves that French chic isn't only sleek and minimal, it can also be poetic, playful, and lighthearted. As you're watching these outfits come up on screen, notice how the strength of French fall style isn't about having endless options. It's about knowing how to mix a few key pieces in different ways. The same coat can feel completely new when it's layered over denim one day and a dress the next. You'll see that textures do most of the work. Wool against silk, leather with cashmere, a soft knit under something structured. That mix of materials creates depth without piling on unnecessary layers. Another detail worth paying attention to is balance. A relaxed top is grounded with something more tailored, and when the silhouette is looser, the accessories bring definition. Even the smallest touch, a scarf at the neck, a belt at the waist, the right pair of shoes, shifts the whole outfit into something polished. And then there's the color story. The foundation stays neutral, but every so often, a pop of red or a patterned piece makes everything feel alive. It could be stripes, checks, or florals. Not loud, but just enough to add character. What ties all of these looks together is that they never feel overdone. The outfits look lived in, ready for a walk through the city or a coffee on a cloudy morning. French chic isn't about perfection. It's about looking at ease while still feeling thoughtful in what you wear. Now, I think it's impossible to talk about French chic without talking about the mood around it. Because yes, the clothes matter. But the atmosphere is what makes them magical. Picture this. It's a crisp fall morning in Paris. The light is a little golden, leaves are crunching underfoot. Someone walks by in a long coat, scarf tossed over their shoulder, hair slightly undone, maybe with a baguette peeking out of their bag. Nothing about it feels staged, but it looks like a painting. That's the energy we're chasing here. There's this sense of nonchalance, this quiet confidence that comes with the style. A scarf isn't tied perfectly, it's thrown on. Hair isn't overly styled, it's just natural. A red lip looks bold, but it's paired with almost no other makeup. It's always about finding that balance between effort and ease. And the mood shifts with the season too. Fall adds this coziness, this sense of layering up against the chill while still wanting to look elegant. It's coats swinging open as you walk, knits peeking out at the cuffs, boots clicking against the pavement. It's clothes that work for a cafe terrace, but also for wandering down side streets or hopping on the metro. So yes, French chic is about clothing, but it's also about this way of carrying yourself. That little air of confidence, that sense of being comfortable in your own skin. And here's the part I love most. You don't need to live in Paris to dress this way. French chic isn't a location, it's a mindset. You can bring it into your wardrobe wherever you are. If you live somewhere warmer, maybe you won't need the heaviest wool coats, but you can still play with light trench coats and layering. If you're in a colder climate, you can lean into thicker knits and heavier boots. But keep the color palette and the balance that makes it feel French. And it doesn't have to come from big designer labels either. Some of the best French-inspired outfits are built from vintage pieces or secondhand finds. That's actually part of the charm. The idea that your clothes have a story. Maybe your scarf used to belong to your mom, maybe your bag came from a flea market, maybe your coat has been with you for years. Those details give the outfit personality. Most importantly, make it feel like you. If you're drawn to a more minimal look, keep it pared back and structured. If you're more romantic, lean into florals, softer fabrics, and delicate accessories. French chic has room for both, because at the end of the day, it's not about copying. It's about capturing that balance of elegance and ease in your own way. So, wherever you are, you can take these ideas and translate them into your daily life. That's what makes the style so universal. It's not a costume, it's an attitude, and that's why it never goes out of fashion. And that's really the beauty of French chic in the fall. It isn't about a checklist of clothes or following a strict formula. It's more like a rhythm, the way you throw on a coat before heading out the door, the little splash of red that makes you feel awake on a gray morning, the comfort of a knit that's been with you for years. It's everyday life, just dressed with a bit more poetry. I think that's why this style never gets old. Trends come and go, but the feeling of ease, of looking polished without losing yourself in the process, that sticks. And anyone can tap into it. You don't need to be in Paris, you don't need the fanciest labels. You just need to notice how textures, balance, and small details shift the way an outfit feels. So as fall settles in, maybe try adding one thing that makes you feel a little more you, whether it's a bold red, a favorite scarf, or just the way you layer pieces you already own. Dark academia is an aesthetic that has taken over the fashion and lifestyle world, especially in recent years. Inspired by classical literature, Gothic architecture, and the scholarly atmosphere of old universities, it is a blend of intellectualism and mystery. Dark academia emerged from a fascination with academia, literature, and the aesthetics of ancient universities, particularly from the Victorian and Gothic eras. This aesthetic began gaining traction on platforms like Tumblr and Pinterest, inspired by the cultural fascination with elite education and the classical arts. It glorifies scholarly pursuits, particularly in the humanities. Think long days in libraries, studying classical literature, or strolling through ivy-covered campuses. The aesthetic is also deeply intertwined with themes of existentialism, melancholy, and romanticism, capturing the allure of academic life. It rose to popularity online as people began to embrace its layered meanings and its association with intellectual growth and personal development. Dark academia also touches on elements from Romanticism and Gothic literature, drawing influence from works by Oscar Wilde, Virginia Woolf, and Edgar Allan Poe, as well as imagery from old libraries, university campuses, and timeless classics. Clothing in the dark academia aesthetic serves as a symbol of one's immersion in knowledge and the arts. By wearing outfits that echo traditional university attire from the 19th and early 20th centuries, people express their connection to the ideals of academia, classical education, and the intellectual elite. The fashion pieces seen in this aesthetic are often vintage-inspired, with a preference for practicality, comfort, and longevity. Dark academia's embrace of history goes beyond fashion. Every look is part of a broader cultural narrative that reflects timeless values like discipline, curiosity, and refinement. When it comes to fashion, dark academia is rooted in vintage, academic-inspired outfits. You'll often see structured, tailored pieces with a timeless silhouette that evoke a scholarly feel. Here are some essential elements to keep in mind. Blazers and overcoats, a staple in any dark academia wardrobe. Choose wool or tweed materials in muted tones like brown, gray, or dark green. The oversized fit, often with structured shoulders, gives the look an air of scholarly seriousness. Plaid patterns. Plaid and tartan fabrics are a staple, especially for skirts, trousers, and scarves. They provide a sense of timeless academia. Turtlenecks. A perfect layering piece, typically worn under blazers or cardigans. Stick to neutral tones like black, beige, or deep earth hues to keep the palette cohesive. Pleated skirts or trousers. A classic school-inspired piece. Opt for wool or plaid fabrics that add texture and a traditional academic vibe to your look. Oxford shoes, loafers, or brogues. Choose footwear that echoes a refined intellectual vibe, yet remains functional and comfortable for long hours of study. Vests and sweater vests. A key layering piece in colder months, often worn over a button-up shirt or turtleneck. These add a sense of depth and visual interest to the outfit. Button-up shirts, crisp, white or cream-colored. These are great for layering under blazers, vests, or cardigans to evoke a bookish charm. The dark academia color palette is all about earthy, muted tones. Shades like deep browns, mossy greens, charcoal, and burgundy dominate. These tones evoke a sense of old-world elegance, with fabrics that further enhance the style. Tweed, wool, and corduroy are perfect choices for adding texture and warmth to your outfits, while leather accents, like a satchel bag, complete the look. Layering is key to perfecting the dark academia style, especially since it's often associated with autumn and winter seasons. To achieve that sophisticated, intellectual look, try combining pieces like a turtleneck under a wool vest, topped off with a trench coat. The mix of textures, whether it's a wool blazer with corduroy trousers or a knit scarf with leather shoes, creates depth and dimension. Beyond fashion, dark academia is an entire lifestyle aesthetic built around a love for knowledge, particularly in the realms of literature, philosophy, art, and history. Popular interests within this community include reading classic works, writing poetry, studying ancient languages, and visiting museums or historical landmarks. The overall aesthetic is deeply tied to the idea of self-improvement through intellectual pursuits. As you develop your dark academia wardrobe, consider adding books and vintage accessories to complete the vibe, like an old leather-bound journal, vintage fountain pens, or round-frame glasses. Accessories are just as important to this aesthetic as the clothing itself. Vintage-inspired satchels or crossbody bags bring an academic flair and are practical for carrying books or notebooks. Round, gold-rimmed glasses or tortoiseshell frames are a stylish way to embrace the scholarly vibe. Wool scarves in muted tones or plaid patterns are both functional and stylish, adding that extra academic touch to your outerwear. Classic, minimalistic timepieces or antique brooches can also elevate the dark academia look by introducing a vintage, intellectual element. The beauty aspect of dark academia is subtle, with a natural yet polished feel. Hairstyles often feature loose waves or messy buns, giving an effortlessly put-together look. Makeup is generally minimal with neutral tones, a soft, matte complexion, light contouring, and muted eyeshadows. Dark academia isn't just about how you dress, it's also about how you live. This aesthetic encourages intellectual curiosity, a love for art, philosophy, and literature. Classics like The Picture of Dorian Gray, Wuthering Heights, and Frankenstein often serve as inspiration. The lifestyle promotes candlelit evenings spent reading, handwritten letters, and a general appreciation for the romanticism of academia. It's about surrounding yourself with knowledge, whether that's through reading or exploring art, architecture, and history. Imagine stepping into a world of old libraries, candlelight, and the soft echo of footsteps on stone floors. The dark academia aesthetic is all about depth, rich textures, muted tones, and thoughtful layers that feel both intellectual and nostalgic. Each outfit tells a quiet story, one of curiosity and introspection. The colors draw from autumn itself, deep browns, forest greens, warm sepias, and charcoal shades that feel timeless and scholarly. It's about contrasts, structured shapes paired with soft, flowing details, a sense of purpose in every combination, as if each piece has been carefully chosen for a long day of reading or writing in some hidden corner of an old university. There's romance here too, a touch of mystery, a bit of melancholy. It's about embracing imperfection, loving the worn-in, and finding beauty in restraint. The result feels classic yet soulful, like dressing not just for the season, but for a story you want to live in. Picture this: slightly disheveled, endearingly chaotic, effortlessly chic yet comfortably practical. Think Kate Winslet in The Holiday or a young Bridget Jones bustling around London. This look blends vintage pieces, oversized knits, and a sprinkle of whimsy with just the right amount of I don't care attitude. It's about embracing imperfection, comfort, and British charm. So grab a cup of tea and let's jump in. The frazzled English woman style is all about looking put together, yet not too much. There's an element of slight chaos here, a mismatched scarf, an oversized coat thrown over whatever was nearby, and a little bit of clutter that adds personality and warmth. This look says you're busy, you've got a life to live, and you don't have time to overthink your outfits. Think soft, muted colors like navy, cream, brown, and forest green. The fabrics are cozy and lived in. chunky knits, corduroy, and wool. Everything has a hint of the undone, but never looks entirely neglected. This aesthetic radiates confidence and quirkiness. Let's start building the wardrobe. To capture this style, here are the essentials. Oversized trench coat or wool coat. A trench coat that looks like it's seen a few rainy days, or an oversized wool coat that's perfect for bundling up. These are your go-to outer layers that will instantly give you that rushed but stylish look. Big, chunky sweaters. Opt for sweaters that look cozy, preferably in cable knit or textured wool. This adds a sense of warmth and comfort, making you look like you're about to curl up with a book, but still ready to face the world. Midi skirts and corduroy trousers. These pieces strike a balance between structure and softness. A midi skirt, maybe plaid or corduroy trousers, adds that British countryside vibe while looking both polished and comfortably practical. Scarves and beanies. Scarves in soft, oversized wool or plaid add that cozy, slightly scattered touch, and beanies give off the perfect "I didn't have time to do my hair" look. Well-worn boots and loafers. Stick to shoes that look like they've been through the rain a few times. Leather boots, well-loved loafers, and even scuffed ankle boots bring character and ground the outfit in practicality. Layering is essential to nailing this look. Start with a simple base layer, maybe a slightly wrinkled button-up shirt or a plain knit top. Then throw on that big chunky sweater. Add your trench coat, an oversized scarf, and gloves. And don't forget your tote bag or slightly battered handbag. This layered approach not only keeps you warm and cozy, but also adds to that lovely haphazard frazzled look that's never really frazzled. Accessories are where the charm really shines. Here's what you need. Big, practical bag. Whether it's a tote or a leather satchel, it should look like it's been around for years. It's meant to carry anything from books to an umbrella and maybe a forgotten apple. Glasses and chunky jewelry. Think big round glasses or tortoiseshell frames. As for jewelry, go for chunky rings, layered necklaces, and hoop earrings that look like they were gathered from various antique shops. Vintage brooches and pins. These add a bit of character and quirkiness to any outfit, perfect for pinning onto scarves or cardigans. A scarf and umbrella combo. Nothing says English woman on the go like a scarf and a small foldable umbrella. She's always ready for unpredictable weather. For hair, think loose and a little unkempt. Maybe a messy bun or ponytail that looks like it's been redone hastily while on the run. If your hair is down, keep it slightly tousled. You want that "I didn't have time to style it" look, but with charm. Makeup should be minimal and natural. Light foundation, a soft blush, and a bit of mascara. If you want to add a pop of color, a smudged lipstick in a soft pink or berry shade is perfect. Just make it look like you put it on in a rush, maybe even on the bus. The frazzled English woman look is as much about the attitude as it is about the clothes. Embrace the idea of being slightly rushed, a little messy, but always with a sense of humor and charm. This aesthetic isn't about perfection. It's about confidence, a touch of whimsy, and being unapologetically yourself. This aesthetic lives somewhere between chaos and charm, and Sophie Turner captures it perfectly with her undone yet polished looks, like she just stepped out for a walk in the drizzle. Daisy Edgar Jones brings the softer side, romantic silhouettes, cozy knits, and that quiet, bookish charm that feels so distinctly British. Nanda Schwartz embodies the modern version. Casual layers, lived-in textures, and that effortless messiness that somehow looks intentional. And Alexa Chung, the eternal muse of this aesthetic, ties it all together with her signature mix of vintage, wit, and just the right amount of disarray. Think of outfits that look accidentally perfect, slightly rumpled, comfortably layered, and touched by the unpredictability of British weather. It's a blend of practicality and poetry, clothes that look lived in, not styled, muted tones, soft fabrics, and classic pieces worn in unexpected ways. There's warmth, humor, and a sense of real life in every detail, like you dressed quickly for a morning errand, but somehow it turned into a look. It's charming, imperfect, and quietly confident. Exactly what makes the frazzled English woman so irresistibly real. Quiet luxury, also referred to as stealth wealth or understated luxury, is a fashion movement that values subtlety over flashiness. Unlike overtly branded fashion items with prominent logos, quiet luxury focuses on high-quality materials, impeccable tailoring, and minimalist designs that speak volumes without saying a word. Quiet luxury is about inconspicuous consumption, where the emphasis lies on the product's craftsmanship and the wearer's confidence, rather than overt displays of wealth. The concept has been around for decades, but gained significant traction in 2023, as consumers shifted towards refined, timeless styles. It's about wearing pieces that exude sophistication and quality, often recognizable only to those who understand craftsmanship. Think of it as the silent confidence of luxury fashion. While quiet luxury shares similarities with old money style and stealth wealth, it differs in key ways. Old money fashion is rooted in generational wealth and often incorporates traditional, preppy elements such as tailored blazers, pearls, and equestrian-inspired pieces. It's a style steeped in history and class, often reflecting a family's lineage and heritage. Stealth wealth, on the other hand, is more about hiding affluence entirely. It leans into functionality and anonymity, avoiding any association with trends or even fashion itself. It's about blending in rather than standing out, even subtly. Quiet luxury exists between these two worlds. It emphasizes quality and elegance without the historical connotations of old money or the intentional anonymity of stealth wealth. It's a modern interpretation of understated sophistication. At its core, quiet luxury is about values over vanity. It reflects a lifestyle where quality and sustainability take precedence. Instead of chasing trends, the emphasis is on curating a wardrobe of versatile, long-lasting pieces. This aligns with the modern desire for sustainability. By investing in fewer, better quality items, individuals can combat the disposable nature of fast fashion. This approach promotes mindfulness, with each piece chosen for its timeless appeal and durability. It's also an anti-logo statement in an age of oversharing and social media. Quiet luxury celebrates the idea that true elegance doesn't need validation through bold branding. It's the fashion equivalent of saying, if you know, you know. Quiet luxury experienced a significant surge in 2023, thanks to its portrayal in pop culture. Shows like Succession showcased characters dressed in muted yet luxurious attire, reflecting wealth without ostentation. This resonated with viewers seeking to emulate the stealth wealth aesthetic. Additionally, the global economic context played a role, as flashy displays of wealth felt tone-deaf during times of financial uncertainty. However, as with any trend, quiet luxury's prominence has waned. Its decline can be attributed to several factors. Oversaturation. The very ethos of quiet luxury, exclusivity, and subtlety became diluted as the trend reached the mainstream. High street brands began mimicking the aesthetic, making it less exclusive. Shift towards maximalism. Fashion is cyclical, and the pendulum has swung back towards bold, statement-making styles. Maximalist trends, characterized by vibrant colors, patterns, and playful designs, are reclaiming the spotlight. Social media influence. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram thrive on visually striking content. The subtlety of quiet luxury doesn't always translate well in an era where attention-grabbing visuals dominate. The Row, founded by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. The Row epitomizes quiet luxury with its neutral tones, impeccable tailoring, and focus on craftsmanship. Brunello Cucinelli. Known for its ethical approach and use of premium materials, this Italian brand is synonymous with understated elegance. Loro Piana. Offers some of the finest cashmere and wool pieces in the world, catering to those who prioritize quality over recognition. Totem, a newer player that's quickly become synonymous with minimalist sophistication. Celine, under Phoebe Philo. A historic benchmark for minimalism in fashion, often cited as a defining brand of quiet luxury. Kate. Known for blending feminine and masculine elements in timeless silhouettes, perfect for the modern luxury enthusiast. Invest in timeless basics. Look for pieces like tailored blazers, cashmere sweaters, silk blouses, and perfectly fitted trousers. Focus on wardrobe staples that transcend seasonal trends. Neutral color palette. Stick to shades like beige, cream, navy, gray, and black for a refined, cohesive look. These colors exude sophistication and pair seamlessly. Quality over quantity. Focus on materials like silk, wool, cashmere, and fine leather. One impeccably made item is worth more than several trend-driven pieces. The material and finish of a garment often signal its quality to discerning eyes. Minimal accessories. Keep accessories simple and elegant. Opt for dainty jewelry, a classic leather handbag, or understated shoes. The emphasis is on complementing the outfit without overpowering it. Pay attention to fit. Tailoring is crucial. Even the simplest piece can look luxurious when it fits perfectly. Invest in alterations to ensure your clothing enhances your silhouette. Subtle statement pieces. Incorporate understated luxury into your outfit with items like a cashmere scarf, a leather belt, or minimalist jewelry. These details can elevate your entire look. Quiet luxury is all about subtle elegance and timeless sophistication, and no one does it better than these celebrities and influencers. Gwyneth Paltrow. A queen of minimalist elegance, Gwyneth's wardrobe features timeless silhouettes and neutral tones that exude quiet sophistication. Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Known for her polished style, Rosie leans on cashmere, structured coats, and high-quality basics in neutral hues. Jennifer Lawrence. Her love for understated classics and versatile staples makes her a go-to inspiration for quiet luxury. Sofia Coppola. Known for her discreet yet elegant style, she embodies timeless sophistication. Matilda Djerf. With her love for sustainability and timeless staples, Matilda's wardrobe is filled with neutral blazers, silky dresses, and clean silhouettes. Monique Dale. Effortlessly chic, Monique's style revolves around tonal dressing, minimal lines, and luxurious accessories. Greece Ganem. An icon of ageless fashion, Greece showcases quiet luxury with tailored pieces, tonal outfits, and luxurious textures. Thailand Nguyen. Thailand's polished aesthetic includes structured blazers, elevated loungewear, and simple yet stunning accessories. These icons remind us that quiet luxury isn't about flaunting logos, but investing in timeless, high-quality pieces that speak volumes without saying a word. The palette is calm and neutral, the mood serene and composed. Each look feels effortless but deeply considered, understated confidence expressed through quality and balance. It's not about showing wealth, it's about showing taste. Quiet luxury is about restraint, the beauty of simplicity, where every detail feels intentional. Think of timeless silhouettes, soft tailoring, and fabrics that speak through texture rather than logos. No matter how trends evolve, these 5 looks always find their way back every fall. Because they're not just fashion, they're a mood, a feeling, a way of seeing the season. Which one do you find yourself drawn to this year? Share it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fall style inspiration. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.